So we have an interesting race shaping up in Texas, running for the U.S. Senate. So we have the Democrat James Tallarico, who's been running for a while. And now we have JASMINE Crockett just decided to jump in this race. So first of all, let me just show you JASMINE Crockett's launch video here. It's basically Trump like viciously attacking her, and it just shows her standing there. It's sort of a unique kind of ad. Let's take a look.
How about this new one they have? Their new star, Crockett. How about her?
She's the new star of the Democrat Party, JASMINE Crockett. They're in big trouble.
But you have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. Crockett. Oh, man. Oh, man. She's a very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding.
Now they're going to rely on Crockett. Crockett's going to bring them back.
I actually think that's a brilliant ad. It absolutely positively rallies Democrats to your side. Because there's no denying it. There's no gray area. It's very black and white that attack from Trump was racist. Trump does this all the time where he calls women of color low IQ, and he literally did it in like order of how dark their skin gets, the lower IQ he says they are. I'm not kidding. So he would say like, you know, he'd say AOC is low IQ. But then you have Ilhan Omar, who's even lower IQ. Like that's what he does. So it's very clear. Like this isn't subtle. The other day he was doing a rally speech, which I don't even know why the fuck he's doing a rally, but he was doing a rally speech and he literally started talking like a Klansman. He started talking like he was reading a lost page of Mein Kampf. The shithole, they come here from shithole countries. We don't want shithole people from shithole countries. It's like, Jesus Christ. So I think this is a very good ad. Now, a lot of interesting things are happening in this race because apparently, and here I'll show you this, new inside the NRSC, their AstroTurf recruitment process to push JASMINE Crockett into the Texas Senate race. So what Notice is reporting here is that Republicans, they wanted to run against JASMINE Crockett, so they created like this groundswell to try to get her to go into the race. And so they had a bunch of polls, for example, where she was doing the best of any of the Democrats in the primary, right? And they would send that poll around to be like, oh, look, JASMINE's the best one. Now, in their minds, they're going, that's who we want to run against, but we're going to try to like create a bunch of evidence so that she sees it and she wants to get in the race because they feel like they'll have an easier time beating her. So I see a bunch of people talking about this, but I see everybody fucking missing the point too, by the way. What they don't understand, what people aren't getting is that, yeah, Republicans definitely did this, but they're also total fucking idiots and they don't know who's a good candidate and a bad candidate, especially on the Democratic side in the year 2025. So yes, I think that they think it would be easier to beat JASMINE Crockett. They are fucking wrong about that. It actually reminds me perfectly of Hillary Clinton doing the Pied Piper strategy, they called it, because they wanted to run, Hillary's people wanted to run against Donald Trump, thinking he would be the easiest one to beat. They're like, oh no, we're scared of Jeb Bush, and we're scared of Marco Rubio, but Trump, we'd easily beat him. So they like pumped him up, made him be the guy on the other side, then they got their wish, and then what happened? They fucking lost. The Hillary people didn't know politics. They were wrong. These idiot Republicans, how can anybody look at what the Republican Party is doing right now and what they're going through right now and think like, oh yeah, they have their finger on the pulse. They know what works and what doesn't. So they're honestly, they don't even realize it. They're wishing for their own demise by saying, oh, we'll run against JASMINE and we'll destroy her. You might think that. And also, by the way, let's keep it real. A lot of that stems from, they're racist as fuck. They think a loud black woman, ain't no way a fucking loud black woman would beat us. But guess what? We are in the era of fucking fighters. And finally, we're going to get some Democratic fighters who are not going to fucking hold back. And so that's the part of this that they're missing, is that they act like, oh, but she's a crazy narcissist. Have you seen who's fucking president? Being a crazy narcissist is like a job requirement to be a politician these days, you jackasses. Oh my God. So I see a lot of the chatter is fucking infuriating me. I see even people who are left-leaning be like, oh, the Republicans wanted her to run, so like obviously, you know, it would be bad if she was our nominee. And it's like, since when do you take Republicans' judgment at face value and assume they're intelligent? They're actually the dumbest fucking people in the country. Thank you very much. Now, she goes on CNN And she's asked a question here about how she's going to win over Trump voters. Here's what she says.
How you make voters who previously voted for Trump, particularly given that you have been an outspoken critic and he has inserted himself, just take your campaign video as is. He has inserted himself at every turn when it comes to your commentary. How will you convert those who are supportive of him to voters for you?
Yeah, I don't know that we'll necessarily convert all of Trump supporters. That's not our goal.
Do you need to?
Our goal is to definitely talk to people. No, we don't. We don't need to. Our goal is to make sure that we can engage people that historically have not been talked to, because there's so many people that get ignored, specifically in the state of Texas. Listen, the state of Texas is 61% people of color. We have a lot of good folk that we can talk to. We know that when Beto came really close, Beto, who is a progressive, we know that he got 65% of the Latino vote. So what did they do after that? They specifically went after Latinos. We know that he got close to 90% or right there at 90% of the African-American vote. So honestly, what we need to do is start talking to the vast majority of Texas. I think my message is very much a mainstream message. I don't know who disagrees with the fact that affordability is a real thing, except for the president, who says it's a Democratic hoax. But when somebody goes to the grocery store nowadays, whether it's in East Texas or whether it's right here in Dallas, Texas, or whether it's in Austin or West Texas, let me tell you, they are looking at those grocery prices and they are thinking we deserve better. Knowing that we do the amount of trade that we do in the state of Texas, yet right now there are these unwarranted tariff wars that is directly impacting us, knowing that we do agriculture big in Texas. We do everything bigger in Texas, but we do ag big, and understanding that we are hitting record-breaking bankruptcy filings by our farmers. Listen, my message is real simple. I'm looking out for you, your survival, and the survival of your kids as it relates to affordability, being able to actually go and access healthcare, being able to send your child to school, being able to afford a roof over your head. If that's not, what Trump supporters want, then fine. Then they absolutely won't listen to me. But I'm here for the everyday person, the person that's not the billionaire on the list that Trump has decided to take care of, but the people that he left sitting out in the cold, just like he did when he decided to be sworn in, and he decided that Inauguration Day, he would have it inside while so many of his loyal supporters were outside.
Now, would you believe that she was attacked for that answer from nominal allies? So the Bulwark posted this not in a flattering way, and then Matt Iglesias chimes in, this is an easy question too. Just say something like millions of people voted for Donald Trump because they believed his promises to get the cost of living under control, and I'm going to win them over because they're realizing he hasn't delivered. Which, by the way, she did kind of say something like that. She talked about affordability. Oh, Trump says it's a hoax. We don't think it's a hoax. But to them, oh my God, how dare you say we need to get out our side. We need to get out voters who, have been disregarded for too long, who haven't been spoken to for too long. How dare you not say we need to get some of the MAGA people on our side? No, I'm sorry. I'm over this shit. I'm done with this shit. The year is fucking 2025. MAGA is a fucking fascist movement. Trump's at a 35% approval rating. You do not need to fucking coddle these idiots. You don't need to do it. We can build a coalition of centrists, center-left people, and far-left people. We can build a coalition of centrists, liberals, and leftists. That's what you're doing. Hey, I'm going to turn out our people. That's what I'm going to do. And now that's the fact that that's still controversial in 2025. Like, are we really still doing this thing where it's like, well, you're going to need to reach across the aisle and grab some of those people. At what fucking cost? At what? Anybody who's still on Team Trump, anybody who triple Trumped is gonzo. They are dunzo. They are TFG. It's a wrap. Let's stop pretending this like mythical crossover voter. They're not there. They're not there. That's not how you win an election. You win an election by actually standing for something that is not what the other side stands for, which is why Democrats need to be clear. Call out Trump for inflation going up. Call out Trump for unemployment going up. Call out the fucking massive warmongering that he's doing right now. Call out the fascism and the fucking concentration camps. Call out the endless corruption. Like, this is what you need to do. Build something different. You don't have to fucking steal from your enemy when it comes to substance. You don't have to try to get their people. We have enough people. Have confidence in your own ideas that if you build it, they will come. And by the way, if you're strong, maybe you will chip away 2 percentage points from the other side that do come to your side. But you're not going to do it by fucking genuflecting at their altar and pretending like they have a point when they fucking don't. So I'm sick of this shit. Like, how dare you say you're not trying to win over Trump supporters? Are you fucking kidding me? At this late date, this fucking fascist death cult, and I'm supposed to fucking, genuflect as, oh, please come to us. What do you want me to say? I'll say whatever. No, I'm going to fucking stand for something. You come over here or you don't. But either way, we're going to win either way. Because I'm going to get the centrists, I'm going to get the liberals, and I'm going to get the leftists. Okay, here is Jasmine Crockett being asked directly about why she thinks she's a better pick than James Tallarico. And this is her answer. Then we'll get into some more of the specifics between them. Here we go.
Now, what do you say to a Texas voter who says, I've got a tough choice. I got two rising stars in front of me. I got Tallarico and I got Jasmine Crockett. Why am I supposed to support Jasmine Crockett?
Yeah, so I think this just comes down to experience. Right now, we know that we're living in an unprecedented time. We're living in a time in which I don't think anyone saw our foundation being broken the way that it's been broken. So number one, I think that my legal training is an advantage in this moment, because when we're starting to talk about almost anything that we can talk about that people are very frustrated about, whether it's the overreach on the tariffs, whether we're talking about the impoundment of congressional funds, to the extent that we know that hundreds of thousands of people have lost their lives because they decided to illegally impound USAID funds, or whether we're talking about the fact that ICE has decided that there is no due process for anyone, including U.S. citizens, right? They have decided that if we look at you and if you talk a certain way, then that's enough for us to take you into custody. And so we have a record number of not only deaths because they have been violating people's constitutional rights and using unwarranted force on people, but we also have an unprecedented amount of U.S. citizens that have been arrested. I think at this moment in time, for sure, we not only need someone who knows those very real stories, because I get the phone calls. I'm the one that gets the phone calls about people being concerned about their Social Security. I'm the one that gets the phone calls about whether or not their Medicaid or Medicare is going to go through. And so you want someone, at least in this moment, that has that experience. Obviously, I've worked on the state level as well, so I understand the differences between the two. And I can tell you that it was completely different coming to the federal level. And in this moment, I think experience is going to matter more than ever. I don't have anything bad to say about James Tallarico. I'm sure people want there to be some kind of fist fight, but I don't believe in that. My issue is with those on the other side. But there was a reason that I entered the race, and it wasn't because of James Tallarico. It was because of Jasmine Crockett. It was because of the numbers that showed that I have a path to actually winning, because I could build this diverse coalition, a diverse coalition that was required for any win that we saw on November 4th. And so it is going to be important for those people that historically it felt like nobody's talking to them, those people that I typically am able to actually break through and get to. It's important that we bring them in. The conversation keeps being about how are we going to get Republicans? Why isn't the conversation about going to our actual base and getting them out? Because at the end of the day, I'm a Democrat. So no matter how many Republican talking points I were to give, which I don't have very many for you, at the end of the day, when somebody shows up to the polls, they're going to see a D in front of my name. And I think that that is why we have been losing with this idea of we're going to get this mythical crossover, because at the end of the day, when they show up to the polls, they always see that there is a D in front of your name.
So here's what they both need to do. So I was doing some reading on both of them, and here's what they both need to do. They both need to unequivocally come out and say they support single-payer, Medicare for all, universal health care. Both of them need to come out and say that. Right now, I don't think she's on the record as supporting Medicare for all. Right now, I don't think he's on the record of supporting Medicare for all. So both of them need to come out unequivocally, say that. The other thing is they both have a weak spot here on Israel. Now, Tallarico is a little bit better because he decided to take the pledge. I'm not going to take AIPAC money anymore. That's great. And I don't actually think he took it in the past, but he did take money from a Miriam Adelson-aligned PAC. And nominally, it was for gambling reasons, like he got paid to try to legalize gambling in the state of Texas or something like that. But it is a Miriam Adelson-aligned PAC. That's unacceptable. We're not taking money from Miriam Adelson or anybody related to Miriam Adelson. We need zero Israel lobby money. Now, Jasmine Crockett, I don't think she's taken AIPAC money directly. I had said in the past that she did. Apparently, I may have been mistaken in that. But she has not a good voting record on Israel. She voted to arm them. She has defended us being allies with them. So what I need from both of them is zero Israel lobby money, not just AIPAC, but DMFI, any other way you could get that Israel money, zero Israel lobby money, and come out and support Medicare for all. So I need to hear both of them say, no more money and no more weapons to Israel, and we need to, arrest Netanyahu and charge these people for the war criminals that they are. This is what I need from both of them. I need both of them to be unequivocal. We are going to stand up to the war criminals and the warmongers. No more money and no more weapons for Israel. And I support Medicare for all. So that's where I'm at right now. But look, overall, generally speaking, you have two decent options there. And I'm a little torn myself, if I'm being honest with you. When it comes to fighting, I think Jasmine is just a better fighter. I do. She also has this other issue where she took some crypto money in the past. That's not okay, right? Like, we need no more big money. Stop. Like, you're literally one of the most, if not the most talented Democrats, Jasmine Crockett. Only do small dollar donors. We don't want you to have any bosses over you. Oh, here, I need you to do this favor for me because I gave you money for your last campaign. So she has issues, but she's such a great fighter. And I think she's perpetually underestimated. And I think she's going to shock people again with an overperformance. So in terms of who's the better politician, who's the bigger fighter, I think the answer is Jasmine Crockett. But that being said, Tallarico has been saying a lot of the right things. You know, he directly, specifically calls out billionaires all the time. You know, he reminds me a little bit of Mayor Pete, which obviously is that's not too great. I feel like maybe he's a little too coached. He's a little too meticulous. He's a little too robotic. I don't know. He feels a little more politician-y to me. So I don't think he's as good of a politician or a fighter. But on paper, you know, he's decent when it comes to policies. Not great, but decent. But from both of them, support Medicare for all, say we need to cut off the money and the weapons to Israel and arrest the war criminals there. And then once they hit those two bars, you know, then they move into great candidate territory. But I'm curious what you guys think. You tell me right below, which one are you supporting and why are you supporting them? That's what I want to know from you guys. And the other thing is, one thing I could say for fucking sure is whichever one ends up winning the primary, 100% every single one of us needs to support them because they're going to be running against either John Cornyn, who's, you know, an establishment Republican hack, or Ken Paxton, who might be one of the single most corrupt motherfuckers in this country without the last name Trump. I mean, just insanely corrupt. So whoever ends up winning should get all of our support. But I'm curious what you guys think. Who do you want to win this race between Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico? Right below. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.